Hi everyone, this is Arun Reddy here. Welcome to my YouTube channel Arun Reddy Tech for You. So today's topic is inline functions. So before going to the topic, so if you are new to my video and if you want to learn C language, you can go to my channel playlist, and in channel playlist you will find playlist name called C++. Okay, so C++, where remaining videos are available in the playlist. And if you want the videos in Telugu, there is also another folder, another playlist called C++ in Telugu, where remaining videos are available. Not only C++, if you want to learn Power BI, DBMS, C language, Python, Excel, Excel VBA, Word, okay, you can also go through my channel playlist, where remaining videos are available in the playlist. Okay, so both in Telugu and English. So let us move to our topic. So our topic is inline, right? So C++ provide inline function to reduce the function call overhead. What do you mean by function call overhead? Means whenever we call a function from the main function, what happens? It will call a function and it will pass a value. After passing, it will execute and again return the value. So the traveling time between the main function to the function definition and returning back, the time is called as overhead. So the overhead time will be reduced, right? An inline function is a function that is expanded in line what it is called. Okay, so when the inline function is called, the whole code of inline function get inserted or substituted at the point of inline function call. So what you are saying here, so what happens whenever we call a inline function, the whole code whatever you are written in the inline function will copied. See, the main, whenever we call a function call, what happens in the normal function, it will go to the main function, right? So just like what we said, it will reduce the function call overhead, means traveling time will be reduced. How? Now the function will come back, so whole function is copied into the main function. Just like, for example, if your son or daughter is not studying properly, what you do, you plan to have a tutor. Now you are sending to some tutor. Okay, so you are sending your son to some tutor, or you are calling some tutor to your home. Okay, home tuition, there's a difference, right? You are sending your son to tuition, or you are calling somebody to some tutor to your home. Now when tutor comes to your home, what happens? The traveling time will be decreased. He will come at 6 and he will leave at 7:30. But when you are sending your son to your tutor, what happens? The traveling, whatever the traveling time he will travel, that will be wasted, right? Okay, so that's the difference. So inline function, what happens? The whole function will be copied into the main, but in the normal function, the function, when function calls, it will go to the function and again return value. Right? See, this substitution is performed by the C++ compiler at compile time. So when we start compiling the program, when it reads that inline function, so automatically it will understand, and what it will do, it will copy the whole inline function into the function definition. So function call, in the function call, right? So function definition, whole function definition is copied into the function. So let me show you with an example. First let us see the syntax. You can see inline, return type, function name, parameters, function code, same just like a normal function, but only difference is inline key. The one word will change whole circumstance, right? Let us see. See, this is a normal function, okay, and this is an inline function. Only difference is inline. Now what happens if I write inline? Means just like we have seen example. Okay, so when we call function, what happens? The value will be passed to the function, right? Again after doing it square, it will return to the again function call, right? So now traveling time, what you will say, overhead time will be wasted, right? But when it comes to inline function, see, whole function is copied into the square. That means the tutor itself is coming. But when tutor comes, what happened? You required a separate room. Remember, when tutor comes to your home, you required a separate room. Here also, when we copy the whole function into the function call, we required memory, right? So now memory is wasted. Here time is wasted. Here memory is wasted. Here in general, what you'll do? Traveling time will be wasted if you send your son to the tuition. Okay, here if home tutor come, space is required. Same thing here happens. Okay, here what happens? Time is overhead problem, and here what happens? Memory problem, right? So which one inline will suit? Inline is suit for small programs, because suppose if you write big code more than 2 lines, then the use of inline will be waste. Okay, because the traveling if your traveling time is more than your execution code, then only inline function is used, because we want to reduce the overhead time, right? So overhead time is more than execution time, then it is worth. But when you have a big code, okay, for example, if when you're passing, the overhead time will be let us assume 1 minute, but your execution is 5 minutes, then it is worth. But your execution is half minute and your traveling time is 1 minute, so the traveling overhead time is 1 minute, so overhead time is waste, right? So in that situation, inline function suits. So inline function suits only for 1 or 2 line code, right? Okay, now you can see this one. Okay, this diagram will show the difference. Normal function, see, it is what it is doing. Whenever function call, it is going somewhere else and again come back. But when it comes to inline function, whole code is copied into the C. Whole code is copied into the function call. So here memory is wasted, right? Now let us see what are the situations. Okay, so the compiler may not perform inline in such circumstance. So when in such this situation, what happens? Compiler will not perform inline. See, remember, even we write inline function, compiler sometimes will not consider it as an inline function. Okay, so what are the circumstances? First thing is, if a function contains a loop, okay, so loop should not be there in a inline function. A function contains static variable should not be there. Recursive, again, just like while loop, recursive also, right? Function calling itself. Okay, or when we use switch, go to, I am not saying if, but switch and go to, when we use conditional operators, switch and go to, and logical operators, conditional operator and jump statement, like go to, the compiler will not perform inline, right? So remember these situations, right? Next, what are the advantages? Function call overhead doesn't occur. That means the traveling time will be saved. Okay, it is also saves the overhead of return, see, going and coming both. Okay, inline function may be useful when it is small. See, when small program is there, so your passing time is more than overhead time is more than the execution time. So at that time, inline function is best option. So these are the advantage. Disadvantage, when we use an inline function, the size of code increase. See, memory. Okay, size of code increase. Code will be increased. Okay, compiler replace each function call with inline function code. See what we are saying. For example, you want to do the square for 5, 10, 15, 20. So every time whenever you call, what happens? It is copying. Now the code will be increased. But when normal function, what happens? Only it will pass. So the code will not increase, right? The overhead time will increase, right? Okay. So when we use the same function to call multiple times, then inline is not suitable, right? Large size code take more memory and time to compile. See, small, only 1 or 2 line you should take when you are writing a inline function. If it is more, then it's waste. Okay, the compilation process slow down because the compiler evaluate and replace the function code at the place function call. So what you are saying, when we compile, what happens? Compiler will be slow because it will copy all the code and it will place in the function call. So the compiling time will be wasted. So these are the disadvantages, right? So once again, for the passing overhead means just passing the value and returning the value time will be saved, and when you have a small code, what happens? The overhead time will be more, right? So at that time, the inline function suitable. But when it is not suitable means when you are calling multiple times. Okay, when you are calling multiple times and when your code is bigger, and what you say, at the compile time also, the compile time will be wasted. Execution time rather than execution time, compile time will be wasted in the inline function, right? Okay. Now this table will show the picture. Okay, difference between an inline and normal. Okay, so it is generally used to improve execution time of the program. Execution time, but what happens when generally to improve the reusability of code? At the time of reusability, normal function is best. At the time of saving execution, execution time, inline is best. Inline keyword we use, okay, here we doesn't use any keyword, okay. It generally executed much faster, of course, when execution it is faster, okay, but execution slower in inline function for small size function. In general, execution slower than inline function for small size functions, right? Okay, the compiler always plays a copy, that means it will copy the whole function, right, at the time when function is called. Here it doesn't provide such type of functionality, right? It will not copy any function to the main calling function, right? So generally you includes one or two, okay, one or two line codes, okay, but not more than that. But when number of line is massive, you use normal function, right? Okay, too many inline functions affect file size compilation as it duplicate the same code. See, if you write more inline functions, what happens? The code will increase and duplication also increase, right? But too many normal function does not affect the file size, because we write the code and we use the same code for different callings. It will not affect, right? So that's the difference between a inline function and normal function. Once again, the here what happens, execution time will be saved and we use inline keyword in the inline function. Execution will be faster, but it will only use for a one or two lines code. And if you have more files, the duplication code will affect the main function, right? So when it comes to the normal function, it is used for reusable code, okay. So more, if you want to call multiple times also, here we doesn't require any inline, okay. So the what happens, the size will not increase even if you have a different more functions, right? And you can write massive codes, okay. So big code can be written in the normal function. So friends, I hope you have understood the video, and if you like the video, please do subscribe and like the video and support me. Thank you.